Hey, Ron here with another tip. I'm going to talk about modifying your grease gun to make it a one-handed operation. Now, I didn't come up with this idea. I actually learned this from a guy on YouTube. His name is Hector Velasquez. He's a golf course equipment manager, and he's a really smart guy. But I did find a couple little things I wanted to add to his idea. Was the video I saw, he had a like a toggle switch on it, so if you're under there, maybe you get hung up or something, you can't get to the toggle switch, you might shoot a little too much grease out. I decided to put a momentary switch on, okay? And the other thing I decided to do was make it come apart from the wiring that you put into the trigger goes down along your grease tube and comes out here, taped along there, however you fasten it, tie wraps or whatever. But I decided to use tape. But anyway, I could, if I want to, for some reason I want to make this go back to the old version, I could do it real quick because my trigger is on plugs right here with like a trailer type plug with 2 wires in it. And I can unplug that and put the old hose back in, and I've got the short version if I need to do that for some reason. The other thing I want to talk about is the DeWalt. I was going to do the DeWalt modification because the DeWalt is a cheaper unit than the Snap-on one. The Snap-on one is really pricey. But what I found out when I opened up the DeWalt, it has more of a complex trigger. I still use a trigger on the Snap-on gun, by the way. And the DeWalt has a variable trigger in it, and so it had more wires than just 2, which isn't what I wanted. I didn't feel like dealing with trying to figure that all out. There's a whole lot of wires, and I have no idea why, just for a variable switch. But the Snap-on only had 2 because it has a high and low in the back that you can get variables from. But the switch, the trigger switch, is only 2 wires. It's just completing the circuit. So you get it, you open up your drill, you solder in there just to complete the circuit to the motor, and you're all set. So here's a little more of a detailed view of it. You can see on the Snap-on one we have the trailer type plug, okay, and then it's going into a little hole I drilled in the body after I opened it up. I tied a knot on the inside so you can't pull it out, and then of course it migrates its way up the handle and into the trigger mechanism. So it works real well, and like I said, you could take it apart, quickly unscrew this hose, put your old hose back in, and then we also have on the end, we have the momentary switch I said about. So we could just see that I press this and nothing happens because I haven't got it plugged in. Okay. So like I said, we have the momentary switch that winds up going all the way back here, and we can press the momentary switch, our grease comes out, we let go, it stops, and our trigger still works if we want to do it that way. And that's the only modifications that I found, but otherwise it was a real good idea presented by Hector, and we'll see how it works on the Fairway unit. Okay, now these Fairway units, these big bad boys, they have grease fittings absolutely everywhere. Everything that swivels and pivots, like these units here, they swivel back as you go further back in here, all the way back, those arms, and everywhere else there's a movement on it. They're a pretty good idea. I mean, grease fittings everywhere, and there's grease fittings way up underneath there where it's getting too dark to see. But here we have our grease gun laying on the floor here. Now, if I was to have to crawl under this unit for one of the grease fittings that are pretty far under, which we don't really want to go under there right now because I don't have enough lighting in this joint, but this gives you an idea. I'm putting it on the fitting, and I'll be underneath the machine, and the grease gun's laying out all by itself, and you grease away. You can see it popping out the back there, so it's working, and that's it works real well. I love it. Thanks for watching.